spoke with a young kid whose dad had been an on and off Amazon worker. He had always wanted full-time, but he could never get a full-time job. And if you don't have full-time, you don't have the benefits. He got COVID. He continued to go to work until he couldn't. And he gave his wife COVID and he died. And so here's this kid mourning the loss of his dad, taking care of his mom. You don't hear stories like that and just say, I'm going to sit down and just let this go, like the outrage and it starts to feel like, to me, it starts to feel like a moral responsibility. I know not everyone sort of takes things as seriously as I do, but nevertheless, they were contacting us, and we decided we needed to do everything that we could to help them. And the thing that seemed like the best, sort of easiest thing to do was to just let them tell their story. So they were telling us, but Amazon's sort of big PR machine, which they're really, really good at, was telling, so for inside the company, we were seeing every day on the internal, homepage, like, we're doing such a great job, or we're taking care of our frontline workers, our heroes. We're doing everything we can. They're telling us that they feel so awesome. But then we're hearing this other story that's like, we're scared. We don't want to go to work, but we can't stay home. A lot of us have vulnerable, family members, all these things. So we thought, okay, let's set up a conversation between tech workers and warehouse workers, because tech workers have more pull. When tech workers complain, people listen because we're a more valuable resource. When COVID hit the Amazon campus in Seattle, one case of COVID, the entire campus was shut down and everyone was sent home. I was in a building that was like 5 miles away from the building that had the COVID case. And, and the warehouse workers, however, you got all these cases of COVID, they just send you out and bring in more bodies. They just keep throwing more bodies at it. So anyways, we were going to set up a conversation, and we sent out, our group sent out, not me, but our group sent out an invitation to this conversation, kind of a town hall between tech workers and warehouse workers. We sent that out at about 12:30 on April 10th, Good Friday, before Easter weekend. So most people were probably already gone, or, especially Europe and India would have been offline. But nevertheless, within 2 hours, that invite had over 1,500 accepts. So people were very interested. There was a lot of interest from tech workers wanting to hear from their warehouse worker counterparts. But within that same 2 hours, I was fired in a 60-second phone call. The invitation was pulled off of people's calendars, and the email that had the information in it was deleted from everybody's servers and
like it never happened.
Like it never happened.
What was that call like?
Oh, well, it was, I was blindsided, I have to say, because I knew I was taking risks, and I knew that I was on their radar, but I didn't have anything to do with this particular, obviously our group did, and I was a very visible leader of the group, Amazon Employees for Climate Justice. However, the invite did not come from me. There was no real proof that I hadn't broken any rules as far as I knew. But a call came in, or a meeting came in 20 minutes before 3 p.m. On this Good Friday, April 10th. 20 minutes before 3, an email invite came in from my skip level manager. And we had just spoken a week earlier, and I thought, maybe we would just wanted to follow up on a few things that we talked about. Had a good relationship with him, but it seemed a little weird. But I got on the Zoom call because here we're all at home, for COVID. Got on the Zoom call and I see this unfamiliar face. She says, "I'm your HR rep. You, I want to make sure you're not recording this." I said, "No, I'm not." She said, "Okay, you were warned in October about breaking the external communications policy. You've continued to break policies, including the no solicitation policy. And by doing so, you have chosen to end your termination or end your employment with Amazon effective immediately. We'll send you a box for your stuff. I'm ending this call." That's it. 15 years, boom. And of course, my son is sitting right in the other room there as he's home from school, and he heard the whole thing and life lessons, I guess. He came over and he said, "Were you just fired?" I said, "Yeah, I was." Still kind of shaking, just like, holy shit, did that just happen? I hope I can say that word on your show.
Yeah, it's fine.
And he said, "Is it because of the climate stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, it is." And he said, "Do you have any regrets?" And I said, "Absolutely not. I'm doing this for you. I mean, you guys, if my generation doesn't do everything we can to stop climate change, and as we know, climate change, the climate crisis is not an environmental crisis. It's a justice issue. So it ties into everything that's happening now. But, if my generation doesn't do everything we can to address this, your generation doesn't have a very bright future. And as a parent, I just can't sit by and let that happen. I feel I need to do everything that I can to make a better future."
So let's just step back for a second, because that's a pretty intense story. You worked at pretty much one of the preeminent technology companies in the world. You were a very senior designer. You worked on the Amazon Go, the automated store stuff, all the cool stuff, right?
Yeah. I was actually Amazon's first principal designer.
Yeah. So that's a huge deal. Huge. So I'm guessing you were not working for free and you had been compensated well in a competitive tech industry. Did that ever occur to you whoa, I'm kind of poking a bear here and that check that comes in every 2 weeks is greater than zero. And this could have a material impact on my family, on my lifestyle, on my future. I could get blackballed. What were you what's the thought process to do this?
I really had those thoughts in October, the first time I was warned. I felt a lot of conviction about what I was doing, obviously. But to get that warning and think, oh, wait a minute, I could actually lose this job. Do I want to lose this job? How would that feel to, walk away from Amazon? It's been such a big part of my life.
Yeah.
I have so many colleagues that I would call friends. It's it is a big part of your life.
Yeah.
And I definitely had scared moments, but it's the outrage. It's the fear the outrage turns the fear into action. And there was so much, my path with Amazon had just been diverging. I just kept seeing more and more ways. And, Amazon is just a member of our capitalist, society. I would say Amazon and Jeff Bezos himself sort of pushed neoliberalism versus capitalism. And so when you look at how a corporation could behave in the world, obviously they need to do everything they can for the shareholders. That's the goal. That's the golden rule of capitalism, money for the shareholders. But there are companies that do that in the most extreme possible way. And then there are companies that try to find some ways to sort of soften the sort of profit over people and planet. But Amazon wasn't really one of those. So I was starting to feel like I can't, it was kind of becoming soul crushing to come to work every day. And it's very hard to work a very intense, and give that many hours of your day and your life to a job that is so diverged from your values.
Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang. Yeah, yeah. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang. Yeah. I want 1,000 a month, 1,000 a month. I want 1,000 a month, 1,000 a month. Let's get this bread. Freedom dividend. Are all y'all paying attention? Automation gonna sweep the nation unless we get him in. Andrew Yang 2020 freedom dividend. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang. Yeah, yeah. First we get this money, then on 420 he gonna give some high fives to some high guys. Decriminalize marijuana so we can smoke if we wanna. Down with the opioid trend, up with the mental health thing. Yeah, math, yo, it's just math. Yo, it's simple math. Yo, can you do math? Yo, yo. Eliminate super PACs, color stars making stacks. Student loan forgiveness plan. Cops wearing cameras and climate change is real again. Science rules. Teachers bringing home some bread. Medicare for every citizen. Andrew Yang 2020 freedom dividend. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang. Yeah, yeah. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang. Yeah.